right, so yesterday we talked about the election, or you read about, we talked about the election of 1824. So in your reading, you should have found out that when the Electoral College, when there's not enough electoral votes, I have so many funny things on my face, you guys. When there's not enough votes, it goes to the House of Representatives. This is what happened in this case. So we had 4 candidates, and there were 2 that were most likely to win. And in the end, John Quincy Adams won, and there was a reason Andrew Jackson was upset, because he thought there was some corruption going on, that they were giving each other jobs, and he didn't think that that was right or fair. So when we go into our reading today, we're going to find out about the election of 1828. So we've got Andrew Jackson. He's running for president again. So what we're going to do is we're going to read pages, the next chunk of the next section in the book. So I want you to read 137 to 140. I'm going to come over to my book over here. So you're starting on 137. We've got the election of 1828. I'm not going to read all of this through with you, because you can do that on your own. But we're finding out about how Andrew Jackson got his message around to people. So newspapers are going to become really important, and we're also going to find out what actually happens, who wins this election. So we're going to start there. And then we've also got some pictures in here. As you're reading, I want you to take a close look at these. And we're going to see, obviously, you can see just by flipping through, Jackson is inaugurated, so we know that Jackson wins. And we're going to find out some traditions are started here. And then we're going to talk a little bit about democracy and government jobs. Now, Andrew Jackson and John Quincy Adams, this was one of the main things that they disagreed on, is who should serve in the government. Adams had an opinion on it being the people with the best skills, and Jackson thought differently. He thought that government jobs did not need special skills, that the best people were the people that were on his side. So we've got 2 different opinions here. So you're going to read 139 and then through to 140. We're also going to find out in this section who his advisors were, and you won't read about it in here, but this begins a little bit of insight for us into political corruption. Now, this is an idea that we can talk about a lot. We see it all the way back in 1828, and we see political corruption in places in our government today. Different people have different beliefs on where that happens and how that happens, but the one thing we can all agree on is we know what it comes down to. Is we know that it comes down to sin. And we can think really quickly about our 3 circles. So right now we know that we're living in brokenness. So even in 1828, our political leaders were living in brokenness then. And so that brokenness and that sin caused some things to go wrong in our government. So you're going to read about it in the pages today. And I want you to be thinking about that, thinking about the choices that they're making, the virtues that we're learning, and think, were Andrew Jackson and John Quincy Adams, were they showing truthfulness and courage and perseverance, or were they not? I want you to be thinking about that question. Then what I want you to do is don't look too closely at my answers because some of mine are filled in here, but you're going to be doing page 73 for you. So the first part, Jacob, you will probably love this. You're going to pretend that you're Andrew Jackson running for president, and you're going to tell of your plans by writing a newspaper article. Now, it's just a small section. I'll put it up on the screen for you here. So this is a small space to write a full newspaper article. What I want you to do, if you want to write really small and you can fit it all in that tiny spot, that's fine with me. You can also grab a piece of notebook paper, and you can do it there as well. And I'm going to give you a chance to be creative again on this assignment. It's going to give you 2 options. So you can pretend to be Andrew Jackson, and you can tell me, based on what you read, what Andrew Jackson would do. What would he say based on what we know his opinions are? Or you can give your opinions on these issues from the chapter on if you were running for president in 1828. Think about the things they're arguing over. Who should hold government jobs? What should their qualifications be? What matters about the people in the government? So imagine it's 1828 and it's now John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, and Jacob Locatelli, or Lucas Locatelli, or Sophia, or Ava, or Leonard, or Nevaeh. So you can add yourself to the ballot and write the article about you if you want. You don't have to. It's just another fun option. The next part of that page we have a few questions. You don't need to answer them in complete sentences for me. I'm fine with a short, quick answer for those. The last one, number 4, it says, imagine you're president. What would you do if you're hiring new workers? If on this part, sorry, I'm going to put it back up here again. If you do this part as you're running for president, then you don't have to answer that last question because you will have already done it in this assignment. If you do this as Andrew Jackson, then I would love your opinion on that last question, number 4. I'm going to write those directions a little more clearly in the email. It'll be written out for you. So if you have any questions, look back at that, reach out to me, email, remind, or phone call. And I'm excited to find out what you would do if you were running for president.